Grid patching on exadata. Uh, Frequently, OCI development, we could see that they are changing the way we apply the patches on exadata grid environment. In legacy environment, we follow a different approach. We have complete control in the legacy environment, and we lock the grid home, apply the patch, unlock the grid home. That means pre-patch, O-patch auto, post-patch. So when the patch fails at any specific point of time, it's a bit easy to troubleshoot. But if you take OCI, exadata, I'm talking about EXACS environment, we have advantage and we have disadvantage as a DBA. The advantage is it is completely automated. We are going to use only the tool. Take for example DBAS CLI tool. We are not going to do any analysis. We are not going to do any conflict patch analysis manually. We are not going to unlock the patch. We are not going to download the patch. Everything the tool will do it for you. Only thing you should know that exactly what tool you have to use, exactly what command you have to use. Nothing more than that. So these are all the advantages we are getting since we are going to use the tool. What is the disadvantage? The main disadvantage is that if the patch fails in between for some reason, for some tooling issue or some network issue, patch is trying to download the patch but it could not reach certain component, so it is failing. Unless and until we know what exactly happening in the background, it is very difficult to troubleshoot. So in this session, we are going to execute the prereq command. Let us say, you are doing the preparation work or planning. You are going to apply the grid patch on your EXACS environment coming weekend. But today, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, you are going to make sure that when I apply that patch this coming weekend, it has to go through successfully. It has to go through smoothly. So you have to do some preparatory work or planning work or prereq, whatever you call it. That's fine. So the preparatory work also, you are not going to do anything manually. You are just going to call the tool again, and the tool will do everything for you. But as I told you before, what exactly the tool is doing, what is happening in the background, if you know little bit of it, then when you are getting into issue as part of the execution, some unexpected surprises if you encounter, it is easy for you to troubleshoot. So I am going to start a planning work for one of my environment. So then, in fact, I have done, it's completed. Then I scanned through the logs and what are all the important things you can find there, so that If it fails for some reason, you exactly know where to look, at what stage the patching is, where to start, whether you can resume or roll back. All those decisions you can take it. Okay. Having said that, exa patch you can apply in a two different ways. One is applying the patch, and then another one is creating the image, applying the patches on the image. That maybe I will cover in the next session. And again, here it is going to be only a planning session. Execution separately I will cover. Okay. So already we discussed about EXACS grid patching, but OCA has changed the framework. The way they are applying the patch, they changed the framework. Okay. So now this is the latest version, DBAS CLI. I'm going to apply the patch on grid. So this you have to do it as a root user. And my target version is this one. I have not yet get the approval to start the downtime from the customer. So --, execute prereqs. I'm going to do only the preparatory work. Okay, I'm going to do only the preparatory work. For the planning, in fact, this is not required. Even without this keyword, you can do that. Okay, but I will tell you, since I mentioned already, let me tell you what is the meaning of this one. Continue with DB downtime. Exa box means, of course, you have more than one database is running in that particular box, right? So each database, most of the databases are rack database. Okay. And maybe you have non-rack instance also, non-rack database also. Okay. So if you have any non-rack database, okay, it will be a complete outage for the customer, because by default, grid patch using DBAS CLI is rolling by default. So, for example, you have a database called DB, which has two instances, DB1 and DB2. At any point of time, DBAS CLI tool will not bring down both DB1 instance and DB2 instance at the same time. That means if your application is rolling compatible, you can go for, there will not be any downtime for the customer. But if your instance, if you have a rack database running on XR or one node rack, it is going to be a complete outage. So that time it is mandatory to specify that continue with DB downtime. That means I'm instructing the tool, you go ahead, no problem. I know I have a one node rack environment. For the applications using that environment, it's going to be the complete outage. No problem, you go ahead, continue with DB downtime. That is the exact meaning of that parameter. Okay, so recently, OCA development has introduced a new tool called pilot tool. This pilot tool is the one going to handle your grid patching end to end. Okay, so this pilot tool, it will be available in where opt Oracle, DBAS tools, pilot, bin, pilot. So if this pilot tool is corrupted, then your patch not even will start. Okay, because this is a tool going to execute several tasks one by one, both in planning and in execution. So this is a very important tool. Recently they came up with this. Log location. So previously the log location is different, but now every information is available in this pilot log, pilot log. So it will create a separate log for planning as well as execution. So where opt Oracle log grid patch, under that you will find one log called pilot log. Okay, as soon as you started this one, you will find this one. Okay, now this log file is very big one. It is huge one, more than 10,000 lines. It is not possible for you to scan through the entire logs, but however, you should know, you should understand what exactly happening at the back end. For that, at least once, you should go through that log. Okay, so I went through the log and picked up some information so that it is easy to understand for us what exactly happening. Okay, so important information in the pilot log or planning log. So it is getting the CRS home. It is getting the CRS home. It is running this command get CRS home. Then it is getting host name. Okay, so the host name is exanode 1. So whether it's a two node rack, 4 node rack, how many nodes this cluster has. OLS nodes, it is executing. So the tool identified that it has 2 nodes, exanode 1 and exanode 2. Backup locations, as I already mentioned, you are not going to download the patch. Even I have not mentioned anything like which patch it has to apply. I mentioned what is my target version, 19.16. That's all I want. Okay, even I don't know whether it is patch 123 or 321. I don't have any idea. So it has to, the tool has to identify the right patches, and that patch, if it is going to download, it is going to download in this location. That is U02 exa patches. So it will validate whether this U02 is mounted, whether these directories exist or not. At any point of time, if it finds some critical issue, it will come out. So it is identifying the backup location, object storage. So it has to, as I told, once it identifies, based on this version, it has to identify the version and it has to download the respective patches from where? It is going to download it from object storage. So object storage, altogether different topic. We can store huge amount of data, especially static data, not volatile data, and for a long period of time. We have different buckets are available, standard buckets, then different ways you can directly, if you have internet connection, directly, you can access the object storage through PAR request. But if you are going through your VCN, you will connect through service gateway. You will not hit the internet for the security. So you will, here they are you can use Swift API. So it is going to connect to object storage using Swift API. Okay, now, then you will find something like image-based patching nodes. Okay, this is a cut and copy paste 1. So image page is 2, this is 1. Yeah, so what that means, here I have 2 nodes. So what the DBAS CLI tool is going to do, it is not going to apply the patches on both the nodes. Even if you have 4 nodes, or if you have 2 nodes, or if you have 3 nodes, it is going to apply the patch only on the first node. That means what I mean, it will apply the patch means, it will apply the patch using OPatch auto only on the first node. So always the execution time is bit longer compared to other nodes because it is going to apply the patch using your OPatch auto. It will follow the binary method. Then once the patch is completed on node 1, it is going to copy the binaries, grid binaries from node 1 to the respective nodes. What I am trying to say, it is not going to apply the patches again on node 2, node 3, node 4, whatever you have, to save some downtime window. Okay. So here the OPatch identified the OPatch based node is EXA node 1 and image based patching node is EXA node 2. Understood? So EXA node 1, it is going to apply the patch, but EXA node 2, it is going to do the image. It will copy the image from node 1 and just bring up the cluster. Okay. Then, what are all the databases currently configured in this cluster? It is trying to get some details. Okay, so here I have DB1 and DB2. So I just mentioned the command. It will, but in the log file, it will show all the config database output. Cluster details. What is the current active version of this cluster? Okay, now it is going to download and unzip the patch. So as I told, it is going to connect to the Swift object storage, hashband region, dbus patch, exadata July 2022. This is a OPatch. Everyone knows it's a well-known OPatch patch. It is downloading that. To where it is downloaded, this is all recorded in the log file. It is nothing I have written. It is downloaded to U02 EXAPatch patches. Okay. So then the script is successful on local node. Okay, it is completed, downloaded, completed. Yeah, after downloading, see it is changing the ownership to Oracle O install. Okay, then same thing. It is going to apply the July 2022 this grid patch. It is downloading using object storage to exadata, same place it will download. Then it mentioned downloaded the patch. Then one more patch also it is applying. I don't know what is this patch, but it is applying as part of this target version downloaded. So what happened? All the zip files are downloaded. At this stage, all the zip files are downloaded. So if you have any connectivity issues to this object storage, here itself it will fail. Here everything went on smoothly. Then all these commands I have not executed. The tool has executed. I just cut and paste here. Then it is creating one directory called 688.0880, changing the permission. Then what it does, unzip. It is unzipping the zip file what it had downloaded. It is unzipping to this directory, whatever it created here. Okay, so it is successful. Then it is changing the ownership of, once it unzip, that folder has OPatch, right? So it is changing the ownership of OPatch folder, where in U02 EXAPatch patches. Same thing is applicable for, it is creating the folder 341 July 2000 patch under EXAPatch patches RU, release update. We know what is release update, revision, what is the difference between release update and PSU, CPU, everything we know. Okay, then it is changing the ownership to root. I don't know because I just cut and pasted here root. So changing the ownership, changing the permission, then unzip. Okay, then it is changing the ownership again to grid install. That is applicable for this one also. Okay, as soon as it created and unzipped, you see how beautifully they designed this automation. Zip patch location it is removed on node 1. Okay, and this guy got removed, this guy got removed, all the zip files were removed because it created the patch, it unzipped the patch. Okay, now what it does, it is checking whether, now it is checking the actual grid home, whether any OPatch.original exists, might be from the previous execution, right? So if it exists, it is removing that. Okay, now it is taking the backup of the current O patch to opatch.original. This is just a opatch folder. System is up and running. As I told you, still we are in the planning stage. It will not impact anything, just a opatch folder, which will help you to apply the patch. Then it is copying the opatch from whatever it downloaded here as a opatch folder. Okay. So basically it is copying the latest opatch. It is going to run it is executing this command. This is also I recorded from the log. Opatch auto, apply analysis, grid home. This is the main grid patch. Okay, so this is the log file. This is the log file. So some, what exactly that log file we have, this log file will get it under grid CFG tools logs, nothing new here. Okay, so analysis completed. So following patches will be skipped. Okay, some in that system patch, this is skipped. Following patches will be applied. Okay, following patches will be applied. Okay, so what exactly it will do? Okay, I think I somehow skipped that. Let me tell you what exactly. Once the analysis happen, what exactly it will do? It will remove RM minus, it will go here, and let me tell you what exactly happened. Where is the opatch home? Okay, I think I missed that. Let me copy. Okay, yeah, I think it is here somewhere. I don't know how. And downloading and unzipping I covered. Exapatch, yeah, that is done. This is done. Yes, zip RAM extracting opatch done. Patch conflicts. Yeah, it is running this one, opatch log. Okay. Yeah, then what exactly it is doing? Okay, yeah, then what exactly it is doing? Yeah, it is removing the opatch, the current folder. Okay. Then the original, the backup it has taken, right? It is copying it back. Then it is mentioned restored opatch backup completed. Okay. Then what it does? It is, what are all the files? Because patch analysis completed. So it is removing all the folders, see, from U0 to Xor patch. Beautifully designed. Finally, updating progress for jobs 100%. Yeah, so this is just I mentioned the opatch log. Okay, so opatch log will tell you what are the things it is going to skip, what exactly during the execution time it is going to apply. Okay, so you just need to execute this command and you have to sit and watch. But you should know what exactly it is doing. It is getting the environment details, then it is connecting to the object storage, downloading the patches, where it is downloading in U0 to exapatch backup location it is downloading, it is using the latest opatch and doing the patch analysis, then it is restoring the old opatch, removing all the zip files and whatever folders it created under U0 to backup, it's removing it, and finally, planning completed with 100% success. Okay, so this is what planning. Maybe sometime tomorrow I will show you what exactly. If, of course, execution, it will do more work, right? Because it has to apply the patch and copy the binaries to the next node, bring down, bring up, all those things it has to do. So that we will see in the next session. Thank you.